Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, BRFR, which stands for Buy, Rebuild, Flip, and Repeat. Today I'd like to go over a little technique that I use at Copart and IAA. I will typically buy a vehicle to rebuild, and the parts for that vehicle will be relatively high. You know, like a door, a couple of doors, and maybe a rear hatch or such as that might cost just as much as you can actually go and buy a parts car to fix that vehicle. Now, my parts cars, whenever I buy them, I consider them to be money, as in big money. They always work out for me. I buy one, and then where the real profit comes is whenever I can buy that second one to use my parts to fix the rebuilder. I buy one to fix a rebuilder, then I'll buy another one on down the road to fix a second one, sometimes a third one. I've even used, back in the day, I had a Dodge Stratus, and I fixed 5 cars off of that one parts car. Bought it cheap, and then turned around and fixed several cars and made money over and over and over and over with it. So today I'm going to show you one of those cars that is one of my parts cars and has really done well for me. And without further ado, I will introduce you to that vehicle. Okay, what you're looking at here is money. And now it may not look like much, and you might think this is a pile of junk, and really it is. But the money made off of this one parts car has just been incredible. We'll go over it. It is a 2018 Buick Encore. I bought it through Copart, and at the time, whenever I bought this car, or SUV, whatever you want to call it, little SUV, but at the time that I bought this car, I had one that had been in a tornado. It was less than 20,000 miles on the car. I'll put a picture of it up in the description here. But it needed 4 doors, rear hatch, you know, a lot of the glass was gone out of it. It was really in bad shape. But with the relatively short size that is on these quarter panels on this, as you can see, most of this car is basically doors and then this rear hatch in the back. And so anyway, what I done was I bought the storm damaged Buick Encore, and of course, it didn't have anything wrong with it inside. The airbags were fine, motor transmission run good, all that stuff was fine in it. It just was body damage from the storm. Well, whenever I went to looking for parts for it, I priced 3 things for it. And I priced these 2 doors right here, and I priced the rear hatch. And whenever I did that, the total for parts, whenever I was thinking about buying that Encore to fix it, was almost $1,800. $1,800 for the 2 doors and the rear hatch. I still needed 2 more doors. I needed a lot of little miscellaneous different stuff for it, you know. And I thought, I'm not paying $1,800 for parts. I'm just not going to do it, you know. So then I went. So I bought the original car that was in the tornado, and then I went searching for a parts car, and this is the one I found. Like I said, it was at Copart, and this right here is a textbook example of why you never ever counterbid at Copart. Never ever do that counterbid, okay? This vehicle came through the sale, and I was prepared to give $3,000 for it. I needed the parts at the time. I didn't want to waste time on my storm damaged car. And so I set a prelim bid on it before it ran through the auction at $3,000. And well, make a long story short, I can't remember, it's been a little while, but that thing brought like $2,500. It's on approval. And right after that $2,500 winning bid, they counter me at $3,000. And of course, I never do the counter bids. And I rejected it. I rejected that $3,000 counter. even though I really would have give $3,000 for it in the auction when it come through. I decided no, I'm not going to do that. They can keep it, and I'll bid on it the following week, you know. So what did the insurance company do? Well, they rejected my bid of $2,500 and relisted it. So they relist this thing, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'll be there next week in the sale, and we'll see how it goes. So the following week, it comes back through the auction. I'm high bid on this thing at $1,600 for this car the second time it comes through. And before I can go and look on my list to see what they was going to counterbid me for this week, they had accepted the bid. Yes, they had accepted the bid. I got this car for $1,600. $1,600. When originally the week before, I was high bid at $2,500 and could have counterbidded or accepted their bid at $3,000 and basically lost that $1,400 that I saved by waiting a week and buying it in the next sale. So don't ever feel pressured about buying a vehicle at Copart on a counterbid. There's plenty of vehicles out there. Don't let your emotions run into it, and you know, use your judgment. And if you don't get the car, there'll be one next week. But I can tell you from my experience that you know, 80-90% of the time you will get that car cheaper the following week. And don't counterbid. You know, I'm just telling you that's my. If there's one thing you're going to learn on my channel is don't ever counterbid. But anyway, I will give you. Here's the VIN on it. Let me go down here and look. See if I can get it in there for you, where you can see the VIN. Look that up on Auto Auctions IO. You can find it real easy. Just type that VIN in there, and you'll see where it brought, you know, like, I don't know, $2,500 or whatever I bought it for the first time, and then it turned around and it was $1,600 the second time. Now, okay, I bought the parts car. I've got the tornado damage car. I can't remember what I gave a tornado damage car. I will put it in the listing as well. Auto Auctions IO will tell me what I gave for it. But it was, I want to say I gave $4,500 for the tornado damage car. And fixed it, put it on the lot, I think for like $11,900, sold it for $10,500. Made some good money on it. Cleared the parts car. This car was free and clear after that first purchase, okay? Now, a few months later, I'm at Copart in my hometown, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there's one comes through the sale, got 8,000 miles on it, 2018 model, and they had stolen the car and had ripped the interior out of it. Didn't have any seats, no carpet, no seat belts, nothing. I mean, nothing. It was stripped inside. Well, it had the dash and such as that. It had the headliner, but it did not have any seats or carpet in it. It still had the wheels and all that stuff. Well, I had a perfect interior. This car, this particular Encore right here, has 8,000 miles on it. And of course, the interior was like flawless condition, and it wasn't sitting outside at that point. I'd still had it inside to where it wasn't getting in the elements. And I'm like, well, I've got to buy this car. So I buy it. I'll put it in the description as well of what I gave for it. Put it together in about a half a day, set it on the lot, sold it for $10,000, and made a nice profit on it as well. Plus, I was clear of the parts for it because I already had cleared it on the first one. And so, so that was 2 down with this one. Now, if you look right here, you will notice on this right front that the suspension is all gone. And it wasn't like that whenever I bought it. It had a complete suspension under it. And I have just recently bought a third vehicle that I'm going to fix with this car. Now, I'm going to have to buy a few parts. It needs a few front end pieces on it. Nothing really major, you know. But because it wasn't sitting on all 4 corners, Naturally, it didn't bring a whole lot of money. It's a 2014 Buick Encore. It's my third one to fix from this car. And it's got 52,000 miles on it. I'll put it again in the Auto Auctions IO link for you so you can see that one. I believe, I'll look once I get in there and see the Auto Auctions IO stuff. I believe I gave $1,600 for the car. It's the same color as this car. We'll go inside the shop. I have it inside, and I will show it to you here in just a few minutes. But it will be the third vehicle that I have fixed with this car, and I've still got 4 tires and wheels. This one wheel is sitting in the shop. When we took the suspension out, I didn't throw it back in there. But I still have a transmission. Well, transmission is bad, but the motor is good in this car. I don't see any brakes in it or nothing like that. It's got 8,000 miles, like I had mentioned before. But I can still fix one that's hitting the rear that needs a quarter, like a quarter skin. I really don't like doing quarter skins, but I will. I've still got the tail light. Those tail lights are high on eBay. I've still got the rebar, but I use the bumper cover on the Tornado vehicle. But for the most part, I still have parts where I can actually, if I play my cards right, I can actually fix a fourth vehicle with this car. I also have the original. It's got the radio and all the speedometer cluster and the AC controls and all that kind of stuff. So probably wondering why the chain is there. I have a tractor with a front end loader, and we just pick these things up and move them around and pull them in the shop and strip the parts off of them, and then back out they go to where we keep them. But anyway, let's go and take a look at the third vehicle that I still have here, because like I said, I sold the first two, and I'll show you the third one that we're fixing currently right now with this parts car. Okay, everyone, this here is the third vehicle that we're fixing with that parts car that you had just seen a while ago. This is the only one that happened to be this color, that's the same color as my parts vehicle. Unfortunately, I don't have any parts to that I can use off of that one that is the correct color. But anyway, this is a 2014 Buick Encore. It's a front wheel drive. It's not all-wheel drive. Give you the lot number on it up here. Right there. You can look that up on Auto Auctions IO, and it'll tell you the scoop on it. But anyway, we took all the suspension from out of the parts car that we had out there, and we're going to replace it in here on this one here. It snapped the lower control arm off. That is what you see, let's see, wrapped underneath right there. Of course, it got the strut and such as that, but it did miss the subframe. We've looked at this subframe, and if it's got any bend in it at all, it is very, very, very minor, and something that we can actually fix on our frame machine and put it back into alignment. So basically, there's the parts that we pulled off of the parts car out there, the axle and the lower control arm calipers, the rotor, the hub, of course the strut and such as that. Also we robbed this right here. It's the little molding that goes on this fender. It was on that parts car out there, so we'll have to buy one of those. I can buy a bare aftermarket fender or from the LKQ or an aftermarket source such as that, or a used one if I can find it worth the money. But this car has no airbag deployment. The airbags did not deploy, which is good. I hate working on them whenever they deploy the airbags. We'll fix them, but it's just something else that you have to do and takes more time. And I send my modules off and have them reprogrammed. Seat belts usually have to be rebuilt whenever you've got an airbag deployment. But this one here did not have an airbag deployment. I have actually started it up. It runs fine, and the airbag light comes on and goes off like it's supposed to. So it is A-OK. It has, it has 51,067 miles on it. And it will sell in a hurry. Both of my Buick Encores that I had before that I fixed with the parts car did not last long on the lot. They went real quick. We made good money on them, and we moved on to the next one. So, but this one here is the third one. May be the last one for a parts car. I don't know yet. Just depends on what I can find in the sales. But it just goes to show you, you got to think out of the box sometimes. Sometimes spend a little bit extra money instead of buying parts from your salvage yards and such as that. Buy a parts car, fix one, and then the second one is where the profit's made, and then the third one, it just kind of compounds on itself. So it's a good little tip for you to be able to buy them and make some good money, and kind of specialize in a couple if you dare to go that route. But anyway, that is about it for me. I will be fixing this. We should have it done in the next couple weeks. I will post an update video once it's all done and finished and wrapped up and ready to go to put on the lot to sell. I'll give you some insight on what we're going to ask for it whenever it hits the lot. But this one should do really well. Like I said, we gave $1,600 for this car, not counting the bumps and fees that the salvage auctions give you, but we gave $1,600 for it. I'll have it back on its feet, and then it's a matter of, the box up on top. That is a used headlight I found on eBay. Is the cheapest headlight I could find for this, and so I bought a headlight. So I lack a bumper cover and a fender and a hood, and then a couple of little knick-knack pieces here and there, but nothing super major. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you've came this far and listened to some of my boring talk, I hope you found it informative. I've been a buyer at Copart and IAA for probably 25 years, and I do know the ins and outs when it comes to buying salvage, and it's my way of life. I've rebuilt cars ever since I was 20 years old, and I'm 51 now. So I'm Freddie, and I appreciate you watching our channel. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I hope to teach you guys and girls a lot of things that I do and what it takes to make money. There's several ways to make money. I'm not the only way to make money. Some of the things that I do can be sometimes crazy and unorthodox, but in the end, it's the dollars at the end of the sale that matter. So thanks for watching, and do tune in again for more great tips. Thank you.